enjoy, and I'll give it a couple moments to see if anyone comes on. We are practicing a nice, well-rounded, all levels yoga flow, and if you enjoy this practice and you're watching it later, please do like, share, subscribe to my channel. I try to post on Tuesdays and Fridays every single week a new free practice, as well as ongoing live streams and some member series. So I want to start today's practice in a downward facing dog. So grab your yoga mat and we'll come into downward dog with the fingers fanned wide. You look down and see that your first fingers are parallel. And then you rotate your inner arms toward the outer arms so that these creases of the elbows, you might imagine there's a light shining from the creases of those elbows, and if you were to look forward, those lights would create an X in front of your vision. Now lift your knees and come on up. Find downward dog. Send the hips up toward the sky, and we'll pedal out the feet, lifting one heel at a time. Breathing there and arriving in your body, arriving in your practice today. Let's come down into a tabletop position, and we'll start to work through some cat and cows. So we're gonna warm up the spine. On your inhale, let your belly hang, look up. And on your exhale, we're gonna scoop the tail, take the tops of feet flat, and really dome through your upper back. Then move the body with the breath. Inhale, toes tuck, inner thighs fan back, we look up. And exhale, we're gonna round the spine and root through the tops of the feet. Now inhale, tuck the toes and look up. And then exhale, round and press back to child's pose. Walk your hands forward quite a bit. And then pressing through the tops of the feet, let's wave into your plank pose, modified plank with the knees down. Squeeze your elbows in and lower down one long line from crown to tail. Come onto your belly. Pull the shoulder blades on the back for a cobra pose on the inhale, any amount of back bend. And then exhale, tuck the toes and send the hips high. Find your downward dog. In downward dog, looking at your toes, seeing that your toes, your second toes, are about parallel with each other, and we're opening the knees slightly so they don't knock in. Let's wave into a plank on the inhale, waking up the core. And then soften your knees, press back to downward dog, exhale. Inhale, wave into a plank. And exhale, press back, downward dog. Inhale, wave forward. Now, if you need to, you can modify onto your knees. Otherwise, we're gonna lower down one long line through chaturanga, come down onto your belly. Take your feet flat and find a back bend, either cobra pose or upward facing dog, where you root through the tops of the feet, and then your knees are able to lift, and you lift your chest up. And then exhale, roll back to downward dog. And welcome if you're joining me on the live stream. I hope you'll practice yoga tonight, or any time of day if you watch this later. So pedal out, and let's stretch that right heel high for three-legged dog. Stretch your right heel away from your left wrist. Now stack that right hip open on top of the left hip. Drag your right heel toward the left sitting bone and look under your right underarm. Let's inhale, and then exhale, knee to nose, step your right foot through. Bring your left knee down, keep the back toes tucked. You can walk your hands onto your right thigh. If it's available, sweep your arms right up into a crescent lunge. Look up between the hands. Inhale. Exhale, cactus arms. Release your hands to frame your front foot. Let's lift the left thigh and we'll come into a twist. Take your left hand a little wider than the shoulder. Take your right hand on top of your right thigh. Look to the right. If it's available, extend your right fingertips up to a T. And when you inhale, you expand your belly, your lowest belly. When you exhale, pull your belly in, release your right hand down, plant your palms, step back to plank. So you could go right to downward dog or lower down through chaturanga, elbows in and in. Feet are flat for cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. And let's meet there. One long inhale, full exhale, let it out. Hollow your belly at the end of the exhale. Now stretch your left heel high, and if it's available, open and stack your left hip on top of the right, hinge the knee, and drag your left heel toward your right butt. Look under your left underarm. Feel the space through that whole left side body. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, step your left foot through. Left knee is over the heel. We're going to bring that right knee down, and then your hands can come to your left thigh. As you're ready, reach your arms right up. And we're finding a back bend through the upper rib cage. And we're hugging those biceps in toward the ears. Inhale, pelvis sinks in. You lift the chest, look up. Exhale, cactus arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together on the back. And then hands frame that front foot. We're going to lift the right thigh and come up into a twist. So your right hand can come onto the ground a little wider than the shoulder, and your left hand comes onto your back. Engage your right gluteal. If it's available, extend your left fingertips up. And look at the hand in the air. So we're really rooting through the ball of your left foot, and your left sits bone drags straight back. Right hip point drops. One more inhale. Exhale, left hand down. Plant your palms, lift your hips, step back to plank. You can either go right to downward dog or lower through chaturanga, come onto your belly. Take your feet flat. It's cobra pose or upward dog on your inhale. And then exhale, come back to child's pose with toes tucked. Now bring your knees together and your big toes to touch. And we'll walk our hands toward knees, and let's sit on the heels. Now, so we're sitting on the heels, toes are curled underneath. Reach down and peel that baby toe out as we come into our thunderbolt pose. So we're going to interlace the fingers and then press the palms away and then right up toward the sky. Your nose is aligned with your navel. And we're dropping both sitting bones down toward the heels. Lift up your body over to the right just a little bit, dragging that left heel away from your left top of your thigh. And then come back and do it over to the left, bringing that right heel of the hand up and over. And then back to center. Let's look up at the hands. Inhale, press the palms up. Exhale, squeeze into a cactus arm. Take the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, and we're going to stand up on the knees and drop those knuckles down right between the heels. Lift your heart, look up. Open up through the heart, spread the collarbones. Keep toning the lower ribs in toward the midline, and we'll inhale, and we'll exhale. Send the hips toward the heels. Walk your hands forward, coming back to an active child's pose. And then wave forward through the chest. Inhale, let your hips sink. And when you exhale, come back to downward dog. Now stretch your right heel high again, three-legged dog. Open and stack that right hip on top of the left. Keep lifting your left underarm. Look under your right underarm. Inhale through that whole right side. And then exhale lightly. Step your right foot through. Tented fingers can help you have a little more space to hoist that right foot through. We're going to spin the left heel down now and then come up to warrior two. Good. So join me in warrior two. We're gazing over the right middle finger and sinking down a little more. Now turn your right palm up, reverse warrior, left hand to left thigh, right arm sweeps up and over. Keep wrapping that right knee open, and your nose is pointing toward the front of your mat. Now inhale, straighten that right leg all the way. We're going to tuck this right hip underneath, really deepening that right hip crease, and reach from your right hip crease all the way out through the right fingertips, lightly touching that right hand down to the ankle or a high block on the outside edge of your right heel. Now you could stay here looking down at your right foot, or you could really turn your torso. So you're really turning your right rib towards your left rib, left hand's on the back, or extend your left fingertips up. And look at the hand in the air. And we'll inhale there, triangle pose. And we'll exhale, release that right hand down, bend your right knee, drop your left knee down, take the top of your left foot flat. Now let's heel toe that right foot behind your left wrist. Let your right knee drop open. And we're making our way toward a pigeon pose. So light fingertips, lift your heart, look up. Inhale, and then exhale, let's lower down. Bring your forehead toward the floor. Top of left foot presses. On the inhale, wave on up. Now looking up. And then exhale, we're waving down, opening your elbows. Inhale, waving up. And then exhale, we're gonna come down onto our elbows. Now you can rest your forehead right on the heels of your hands for a moment and drag your eyebrows toward your eye sockets and tune your focus inward for a couple of breaths. So if you're just joining, we're in pigeon pose, moving that right sitting bone toward the earth, letting your left hip point drop so the left inner thigh feels very soft. And you breathe light and space to any area of tension or resistance. The shoulders and neck are relaxed. One more inhale. Now exhale, drop the tail, walk yourself back up onto downward dog hands. Look up. Inhale. Exhale, look down between your hands, plant your palms, downward dog palms. Tuck your left toes, lift that left thigh, and step right back to downward dog. And if you have a little energy to burn off here, you can wave into a plank on your inhale. Exhale down, chaturanga. Inhale, gliding through cobra or upward dog. Exhale, we're meeting in downward dog. Inhale together, exhale, let it out. Now we'll do the other side. Stretch that left heel high open and stack your left hip. Hinge the knee and bring that left heel toward your right butt. Look under your left underarm. Press the palms forward and away from your shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, slide that left foot through. Tented fingers helps you get that left foot between the hands. And spin your right heel down. We'll come up to warrior two. And we're gazing over the left fingertips. Really knit your lower ribs in. Nice tone core here. Spread the toes. Now turn your left palm up, reverse warrior. Right hand slides down. Left arm sweeps up and over. Inhaling left side body. Straighten your left leg all the way. When you exhale, we're going to reach from that left hip forward, forward, forward. And then your left hand can touch to the ankle, a high block, or the ground. Stay looking at your left foot. That might be where you stay. Both legs are as straight as you can get without locking or hyperextending. It's okay to let that right hip roll forward and down a little bit. Now work here, or you start to turn left rib toward right rib and reach your right fingertips up into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So we're anchoring that right heel. One more inhale breath. Exhale, release, bending through your left knee. Swing your right heel over the toes. Touch your right knee down. Then we're going to come to pigeon on this side. So heel toe your left foot behind your right wrist. Let your left knee drop open. And then take the top of your right foot flat. Your hips are square toward the front of your mat. Come up to your tented fingers. Look up. Inhale. And exhale. Plant your palms. Open your elbows. And begin to fold forehead toward the mat. Chin toward chest. Now pressing through the top of your right foot, let's wave on up. On the inhale, wave on up, lift up through the crown, and then exhale, fold down. And inhale, let's wave on up. And exhale, we're going to fold down. One more inhale, wave on up. And exhale, let's come down onto our elbows and rest your forehead, your third eye center, this area right between the eyebrows. You can rest it on the heels of the hands, and we'll drag the brown line toward the eye sockets. And this is a great nervous system reset. And you turn your focus in and down and relaxing the stress of your day away from your jaw and shoulders. And that softness can flow down into your hips and low back. So when you inhale, there's light and space flowing to any tension. When you exhale, the stress and any gripping or tension can dissolve away gradually. One more full exhale, your fullest exhale yet today. Then press through the top of that right foot and drop your tail, gather your belly, and slowly come up onto your fingertips. We're going to look up, a little back bend. Lifting your rib cage, and then look down, plant your palms, downward dog palms, tuck your right toes, lift that right thigh, and then lift your belly, step back to plank. Holding here in a plank, we're going to turn our heels to the right, and toes are pointing to the left. And then heels back to center, heels to the left, Toes are pointing to the right, and we're going to look right and lift to center. Heels to the right, look left, and back to center. Heels to the left, look right, back to center. Hold, come all the way down onto your belly. Now when you're on your belly, take your feet flat. Reach your arms around. Root through the pelvis, lift up into Shalabhasana, locust pose. Fill the belly with the space of the inhale. Collarbones are broad. If it's available, you're going to bend your knees and reach around for the tops of the feet. Kick the feet into the hands, hands into the feet, Dhanurasana. Nice opening through the whole front body. One more inhale, look up. Exhale, gently release. Release your feet back without slingshotting your feet. Tuck your toes, palms under elbows, and let's press up. And we're gonna walk our knees in between the thumbs. Cross your ankles, arms are nice and straight. Sit behind your heels and come into a cross-legged seat. So let's meet together in a cross-legged seat. Either ankle is crossed on top. Take a couple shoulder rolls, letting the shoulder blades descend. And then we'll twist to the right gently. The lowest belly turns toward the right. Right fingertips come behind. And then the left hand can come toward the outer right thigh. And we're gonna turn the torso, look over your right shoulder. Lift up from your hips right up to the underarms. Lift the base of the skull up. Inhale. Exhale, gently come back to center, and we're gonna turn to the left. Right rib toward left rib. Right hand helps on the outer left thigh to guide the twist a little more intentionally from the lowest part of the spine, one vertebra at a time, all the way up through the crown of the head, looking to the left. Inhale. Exhale, we're gonna come on back. Bring your knees in, cross your opposite ankle on top, and let's walk the fingertips forward. And you can bring your palms all the way to the ground. We'll take a forward fold. Inhale, back body. Exhale, fold a little more. And then walk your hands back. So we're gonna sit up and make our way onto the back. So we're gonna find our way onto the back. This is a great place to wind down the practice. So go ahead and come on to the back. And we're resting on the floor. And we're gonna rest in constructive rest pose. Feet are mat width distance apart. Knees knock in to touch. You can take a cactus arm. Close your eyes and let your head roll from side to side. Let all the stress of your day dissolve away. And eyes are softly closed. Tune into your breath and the feeling of the thigh bones falling down right into your hip sockets. You can lift and spread your toes. And pay attention to that slight pause at the end of the exhale, where the belly softens back toward the spine. And there's a lot of light and space flowing through your whole body. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do, just to be supported by the floor. And if cactus arms ever gets too much, you can let your arms come down alongside the body. And then gently let's windshield wiper the knees. Letting go of stress and tension that might be remaining in those hip joints, wringing out your lower back. Really great everyday practice to do this simple windshield wiper anytime you feel really stressed. And then let's go ahead and hug your knees in. We're gonna give ourselves a hug, invite compassion for exactly where you're at today in this moment in time. Thank yourself for showing up on your mat. And then when you're ready, roll to either side and let's press on up to sit. So I'm winding down the practice now, and I really appreciate if you joined me for a yoga practice, and I hope I'll see you next time. Please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more live streams and the videos that I post weekly that are free. And yeah, I'm Sara, and I appreciate you practicing with me. Okay. See you next time. Bye-bye. Keep going. Oh yeah, I wish you joy, peace, health, strength, courage, and also trust on the journey. Namaste.